Play with these dudes. Hey everyone, welcome. Mike, what's up, dude?
What's up? Hello, everybody.
Oh, we have Kevin here too. Should we bring Kevin in?
What's up?
Yes, we should.
Cool genius.
Hey, Kevin.
Hello, hello.
We see a
All
kitchen.
right, we get a kitchen. Yes, set up the camera beforehand.
Do you want me to do an intro, Mike?
If you want to, yeah, you can say like all the things if you want to.
All right.
Do it.
This is devOSH. This is devOSH Live. I am just joining right now to test out this whole StreamYard platform. Mike is the host, yeah, it looks like we have a few people here in the audience, and I want to hear from Mike actually what direction we're taking with devOSH. But to kickstart this, please post in the comments if you like the video, like it. If you want to subscribe to the DevEco YouTube channel. We're also on Twitch right now as well. Please feel free to follow. One thing though is if you do have recommendations on how we can up the ante here for devOSH, please feel free to post those either live in the comments, in the chat, or in the comments. But yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Hardware. So yeah, this is devOSH Live. So yeah, it's a little open hardware initiative made to kind of showcase the DevEco community and, you know, bring together people to work on cool hardware projects that are open hardware and have fun. Don't do it if it's going to turn into like a day job and stress. Don't worry so much. There's no pressure. We're just here to kind of gather ideas and try to make new things with hardware, probably mostly printed circuit boards, but also, you know, 3D printing. And I'd like to get more 3D printing kind of gurus to kind of hang out and share. It would be good. We had a lot of different projects like showcased so far. And this is, I think, the 5th episode of the show. Maybe 4th, 5th. It's early still. You can tell because of how unstructured and like just kind of willy-nilly it is. But it's okay. We come here, we have fun. We don't like pressure people. We don't try to like make it into our day job or anything, at least yet. But yeah, so last time we were on, I can't even remember when it was.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So we skipped 2 weeks.
3 weeks. Was it when Eric came on, or was it the week after that?
I think it was when Lawrence came on.
Lawrence and Eric, yeah, okay. So yeah, Eric Bramba came on, and they showed off some printed circuit board designs that he made. They're all audio related. It was a pretty long episode. And Lawrence showed up kind of random. I think that was Fixer's doing. And he was talking about his Zephyr boards thing, Z boards, which kind of overlaps with Z board, but it's okay. And that was fun. Before that, we had, the usual guys. He talked about Maker Chip, the electronic magnetic maker chip, and I'm assuming you're going to give a little update today. That'd be awesome. And then there was the Heavy Falcon. I'm assuming he's in the crowd.
I think Heavy Falcon is I think on away from the computer for this week or something. Yeah.
Okay, he can watch the show, but he's a regular and he does various hacks. Came from the Hack Pack community and joined DevEco. He's been extremely collaborative and helpful and keeping people interested in the show. He made a little robotic claw attachment for one of the Hack Pack gadgets, which are kind of cool. So yeah, this week we're going to have Fixer talk about the DevEco IO, which is a new thing. And it's it's kind of soft release, a little tool for sharing projects. And after that, we'll probably have Kevin give a short update on the maker chip, and then we can go on to projects, other projects, starting new projects, ideation, and kind of see where it's at. 'Cause actually, I think last week, the last time I was on, nobody showed up except for Eric. And I put in a bunch of projects on the GitHub repository as like idea projects. And I can go over those once you guys are done. And we can talk about maybe new projects, and hopefully find like some shared interests so you can make like, projects together. I think there's a lot of interest in robotics. There's a lot of interest in like home automation stuff, which I think would be cool to work on. So yeah, I think there are a few other ones. I wanted to make a cyber deck, which I think would be a fun project, make a cyber deck for like when we go out to the shows and want to show off. We can just open this cyber deck and be like, everybody will be crowding around and it's like, this thing is awesome. And then, have whatever gadgetry in there. That'd be fun. So we have to work on how that would work, what kind of integration we would do, how much of it would be kind of hacked in off the shelf stuff versus, 3D printed or, even machined parts. But yeah, so I guess we should probably go ahead and start off with Fixer's showcase of devEco.io, and then we can come back to new projects towards the end.
Awesome. Yeah, Mike,
Take it away.
that's great. Yeah, appreciate it, buddy. So first off, I wanted to say, thank you very much for you guys kind of keeping this whole ship afloat, Michael and Kevin and the folks from Delta Robotics for sure. When we look at the devEco GitHub, right? You can actually go. I'll share this link right here. But this is a community-run GitHub organization hosted under a hosted under a community-run community or ecosystem of communities. That is the devEco, right? And so in this organization, you'll see right here we have the devOSH, and inside the devOSH, what Michael was saying is there are a lot of projects that he recently kind of put up here in the issues area. These are things that he's kind of, I think you can explain this yourself, Mike. And again, I'm going to go into the devEco.io in a second, but I was impressed by seeing all of these ideas surface at in the org and under this repo. If you have any ideas that you'd like to contribute to the devOSH, or things that you'd like to build, or seeking out a community member to build with, this is the place to do it, right? It's not about, I want to say, giving your idea away or giving your hardware away, but it's more so finding collaborators and giving your hardware a chance. And in many ways, in many situations, you're building a standard that you can then build upon. So find the people to build that standard with, that foundation. And then once you have that foundation, other people can use that foundation, but then you can go away on the side and build out your secret sauce on top of that. And this is kind of, I think, a lot of ways where the hardware community really thrives, is building those foundational use cases and then allowing others to kind of give you ideas and contribute back to your foundation to make it stronger. So yeah, I shared those two links there. If you want to go check out more on the devOSH, we also live in the devEco community Discord. So I'm going to put that right here as well. Discord.gg/devEco. You're going to be hit with an application you have to fill out. If you want to just put in there somewhere that you heard about this on the devOSH live stream, then we'll know to let you in more easily, right? Great.
Yeah. Or you can go to my server. So no, this was what happened last episode when nobody showed up. I was like, all right, since nobody's here, let's try to do some work towards the effort. And it was just a bunch of stuff based on what people were talking about on my server and what people are talking about on the devOSH server. So I think there's a lot of projects there and a lot of people that might be interested in those projects, and there's derivatives of those projects that would be really super helpful. And I think, did I put one for a camera reference design? I think like adding a camera design was one of them, I think. And then there was like the portable handheld game. Yeah, all sorts of cool things that I was kind of thinking of, just to kind of get people's creative juices flowing. Hey, and I'd like to make it so that people, if they do contribute, they are somehow incentivized. How you have like a local ecosystem in the Discord chat where you get like coins or tokens or whatever. I think having bounties so that if you design something, you get like these cred points. You get so many cred points, and then you get like something for it, and that would be kind of a good way to get people to kind of share, and maybe get more like people to want to contribute because they're getting something in return for their effort. A lot of times open hardware and open source, you do a lot of things just out of passion, and you're not doing it to make money. But sometimes it's just like, if I'm going to do a lot of work, I want to get paid for it in some way. It just depends on the person. So I think it would be good to kind of come up with a way to use our kind of ecosystem, the DevEco space bucks or whatever, and get people to actually contribute. And then when they submit the project, they get a bounty, and then they get like a certain number of coins, and then when they get enough coins, they can get like hardware made or hardware something, or even just like cred points or something. Some kind of incentive program would be fun.
Absolutely.
I've been kicking that idea around and trying to figure out ways to like how we would implement that.
Well,
I know that we have ecosystem, but
once we get the Patreon going, I think a little bit stronger, and we get some more partners contributing to the ecosystem as a whole, there's all sorts of initiatives. And one of the big things here, right? It's so important, I think, to me, at least I think to a lot of people, you could tell in yourself, is that maintainers be taken care of, right? A lot of projects go stale, and then something new pops up, and maintainers and contributors, they migrate over to these new projects because there's no real incentive to keep going. And when something breaks, the hard work needs to be put in. Time doesn't come out of nowhere, right? Like you have a certain amount of time to allocate to stuff, whether it's hobbies or work. And, when hobbies become work, then that's when things I think go bad. And so, incentives don't always have to be financial. Incentives could be making sure that the right tools are in place, the right services are available, the right assets are available to you. And that also appreciation, the visibility, the relevance, all of these things kind of come into play. Ideally, we are trying to tackle though that financial aspect at some point for the community. I mean, this is a community that it should be at some point sustaining itself in some financial way. And so we're working towards that.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it'd be cool to get us shared resources, like a 3D printer that we can like use. That's kind of like open to the people in the community. Somehow.
If my credit. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kevin. You got one?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna jump in here. So I think this is gonna require a lot more discussion on exactly how we want to do this, but. I have access to a makerspace that has 20, 30 printers, print farm.
Cool.
And
cool.
100%, like we could pass that through and say, hey, if we need to print something, I can hand that over to, one of the printers that's open that day. We can print off the material and ship it to wherever we need to. 100% something we could do. Yeah. And going back to what you were saying earlier, bamboo. Everything right now it's a Bamboo Minis H2S. He has 4 H2S's, 4 carbons, the original X1 carbons. He has 1 H2D, and then he has 2 massive, like half-meter cubed Solval printers, and then he also has a an Orange Storm Giga as well, so we can go all the way to
Huge.
as big as possible. Yeah,
That's
so
nice.
yeah.
I'm trying to get a friend of mine. Like my credit score is like horrendous. I'm trying to get a friend of mine to like apply for the the payment plan on one of those Bamboo H2 printers. So I think I got someone that's going to do it for me, because then you can pay like $100 a month or $112 a month, and then we'll have a Bamboo 2 here in the garage.
Why not? Have you looked into the All Access Fund from Bamboo Labs? Have you all heard of that?
No.
So
and Toasty's Toasty's in the audience. Toasty, I'm going to DM you a private link to join the StreamYard if you want to join here. I'm going to send you in, Toasty. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
So sorry, let me rephrase it. It's not called the All Access Fund. I call it that. It's called Fund It. And it's basically Bamboo saying, hey, if you've got a really good idea, whether it's open source or not, doesn't matter. As long as you show it off, like you make a really good YouTube video about it, we will actually send you 3D printing material. We will send you 3D printers. They even have a $300,000 budget that says, hey, every quarter we will pick a certain number of teams and we will sponsor the full project. Now, I don't know. I can guarantee you it's pretty competitive. So the odds of you getting into that program might be pretty hard. You may already have to have a YouTube channel with some credibility behind it. I don't know. I haven't tried it. But I was curious to see if we could convince them to sponsor some 3D printers and maybe some filaments, some parts for a like open source project, and be like, hey, we've got a really good idea that we want to show off, and then we'll 100% sponsor Bamboo Labs at open source this year. And I don't know, if you've got the opportunity, I'd recommend looking into it and see what it's about.
The self-proclaimed all access fund.
Yes. Kevin? No. It's actually called Fund It. Like it's an actual fund here. I called it something it wasn't supposed to be called. That's my fault. That's my bad. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah, send us a link. Send everybody a link. Yeah.
Jimmy,
Bamboo's.
Say hi, Jimmy? Do you want to come say hi? No. Okay.
Make it fun. Make it fun is what it's called. Make it fun here.
Okay, so
I'm on StreamYard here.
Bamboo Lab, make it fund.
Make it fun. Yep. Let's make it fun. Bamboo Lab, let's make it fun.
Right here,
you can share it on the screen. Yeah, that's the guy.
There you go.
Right.
So it looks like you have to be like a superstar, like Rocket Man or something.
Well, not. I mean, if you read through the actual like submission that you submit, it doesn't. You're not required to have any of that stuff. They're showing off some of the highlights that they've had. It like showed off people who've used their printers. Like they'll show off the Hacksmith and they'll show off some other big YouTubers on exactly what it is. And I think they've gone through their first season, like their first quarter of funded projects. So I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure you can go on there like Twitter or Instagram somewhere and actually see all of the contestants that won that year and what they built from it. So it might give you a good idea of what their range is. And this is a new program, so maybe they're playing it safe at the beginning, and they can kind of touch some of the edges once they get a good idea of how this works.
Yeah,
touching edges.
It's an interesting idea. Yeah, so they're the ones that closed down their firmware or whatever, made it like lockdown or whatever recently. So it's not super open source or open hardware in any way, but you make
but it's streamlined. It's like it really depends, right? Like if you want like open source, you go Prusa, right? I think right, like open source, you can like add pieces to it. It has Prusa shifted from that, but for the Bamboo, like the Bamboo Labs printers, the reason I like them is that you just get to just dive in, right? And it's just supposedly, from what I hear, just super simple, and that's what I'm after.
Yeah, it's the Apple of 3D printers. Like it's so smooth going from your 3D model to an actual finalized print. It really is incredibly enjoyable. Me as an engineer, I've been 3D printing for the last, I'm gonna say 15 years now. I built my very first Ender 5 from scratch. Like I was at the very beginning of this whole 3D printing movement when it started getting popular. I wasn't at the rep rap stage. I was right after that, but I've seen this technology grow, and when Bamboo Lab first came on the scene, man, it was a game changer. For the first time, I could focus on my design and not have to babysit the printer, not have to, completely reconfigure my entire design just because I understood the quirks of my printer. Like the support material had to be this far away from the edge, really weird quirks like that was unique to my printer that I had to engineer into my design. When Bamboo Labs first came in with their X1 Carbon, it was the first time I really felt like, wow, it's starting to get to the point where I can just design and it'll figure it out. So that's my opinion. And Robert,
a lot of people have that opinion.
I like it, and I know people are pretty salty about them locking down their firmware. Me being a startup owner, I get it. I get why they did it. I'm not upset about it. I definitely don't hope they lock you into the ecosystem. That kind of is frustrating. Sometimes they don't have material that I need, and they're kind of locked into their whole RFID system. So it's a trade-off.
Hey, wait. So, Kevin, I need your help on picking this real quick.
All right.
So I'm looking at this one.
H2S?
1 second. The H2S, but there was one that I wanted, which is H2S. I don't want the laser combo, but I did want the H2S. What's the AMS combo?
Automatic material switcher.
Yes, that's what I want.
That.
But I want. There was one. Damn it! Where do I pick there was sale printers, H series, H2 special fully material printing. Is the H2 Pro. The one that I wanted was with more nozzles. There was an option or like more nozzles or something.
Yeah. So the H2 line of printers comes with 2 nozzles by default in the print head, but the H2C has a CNC cantilever system where you can have up to I think 8 different nozzles in that whole system.
I think it was
H2D
this one.
is the original one.
Yeah. Oh, so right here. Oh, look, this one is on sale. Standard. It's the AMS2 Pro bundle. What's the reason for having it? You get another little thing on the side or something?
Well, so the printer can handle both of those at the same time. So you can have up to 8 different colors.
There you go. So this is the one I want then, the AMS2 Pro bundle.
You want all the colors.
I want all the colors. Yeah, no, I want to be able to I want to be able to do it with I want to be able to print from
there's caveats to having a lot of colors. It wastes a lot of filament.
Yeah, and that's what the multi-nozzle system is for. Go to the H2C. One second, I'll be right back. My screen is completely black. I'm going to jump out and jump back in.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the H2C one that he was saying.
Yeah. H2C is kind of like H2S, I think.
Oh, H2C is the new one.
Yeah, I think so.
Then I want the H2C.
Yeah. It looks pretty. You definitely want the one with the fully enclosed environment.
This is not enclosed. No, the one but I don't want the laser combo. I heard horror stories about the whole laser combo thing. Here, Kevin's back. But if you put the laser combo in, what happens is you end up with particles and pieces that the laser, it's a laser, it's cutting stuff, and it's and so then when you have the laser in there, you end up with a mess that could F with your 3D prints if you don't clean it every time or properly. So I think just going with the regular non-laser version is what I would go with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the laser works. It's okay. But if you honestly want something laser cut, get a dedicated machine. Go to what's that brand called? There's a bunch of brands out there. Dang, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's very popular. It's the F1 Ultra. It's the X-Tool is the brand. X-Tool has a really good lineup. They're kind of like the, sister version of, instead of 3D printers, they have laser equipment, but they run just like a bamboo printer would. And so if you're looking for a dedicated laser cutter, go with X-Tool.
Yeah, that will be my recommendation. That will be next. It's 3D printer first, and then CNC, and then laser, and then one of the UV ones.
UV printer or like a
printer? No, UV printer.
inkjet printer, like a UV.
No,
inkjet
UV printer, the one that actually like can print like like those crazy
SLA?
textures. Is it like a texture printer?
Okay, you're talking about the Eufy make
Yes,
printer.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
They have so if
Resin.
you
It's
look
a
at
resin printer. There you go. Toasty just said it. It's a resin printer.
It is a resin printer, but it's a resin inkjet printer. There's a difference between the two. SLA is what he's talking about here. That's not the Eufy make.
Hey, Kevin, I think one of your kids escaped.
Oh yeah,
It's fine.
It's fine. He's got the oven on. The oven's on behind you. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not. That'd be in the. I hope
that means the oven's out of the kitchen. Yeah, no. Okay, guys, we ready to go into some devEco.io real quick, and then we can dive into Kevin's updates. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Let me bring this back up. Share screen, window. This. I think we're on the right one. What is devEco.io? Banner right there. So devEco.io is our ecosystem's attempt at building the first ever open source content platform. Okay. You can think about all of the other content platforms out there. You got Hackaday, SuperCon, not SuperCon. SuperCon is an amazing conference. Hackaday, you got Hackaday, you got Hackster, you got Hacker Earth, you got all these. Instructables, all amazing platforms that were eventually sold to a corporation, and this is where this will not happen or can't happen, right? And so like we have an open source system now, and this open source community is built upon the Fediverse. So if you're familiar with like ActivityPub, what we did is we actually built a layer on top of that called Common Pub, and Common Pub allows us to then build this flagship open source platform that lives on beyond any of us in this call right now. And that's the whole point. The whole point is that this thing exists, and if anyone or anything gets in the way, well, hey, it's open. You invested into this platform, and that platform and your content is still there for you to own and for you to keep moving on with. And since the layer below it is the Common Pub, anyone can then take this and spin up what they want to spin up beyond devEco.io. So this is kind of like the model that we've gone with to ensure. The Common Pub layer is to ensure the full-blown open source aspect of it. If we just launch devEco.io, I mean, like, boom, great. You're trusting me that devEco.io, don't get me wrong, it is open, but you're trusting me and everyone else to say, oh yeah, well, this is devEco.io and this is how it is. But Common Pub being the layer underneath genuinely allows us to say this is truly open source, built upon open source. And that's where I think we hit the nail in the head there. devEco.io is kind of like I go by the model where you say don't build your castles in other people's kingdoms, and we have lived. devEco, the ecosystem of communities, has lived in other people's kingdoms for far too long, and this is where now we kind of have our own little kingdom to start building out in, where the platform, while being open source, gives our members and anyone else in the world who is a developer, a content creator, someone who wants to build something and then share it, the opportunity to do so in an open source fashion while retaining ownership of their projects. And so we're going to be adding more features here. You can kind of see right now we have blog, communities, and projects. So if you have a community you want to host, you can come in here. You can create a community hub. And then you can start posting projects under your community hub. If you want to launch a blog series, you can launch a blog series. One of the cool things about this, right, is in launching a blog series, I'm just going to do a little tester here, but you get to actually structure your SEO, right? So we allow you to kind of go in and build out your own SEO. If you have a project that exists on other platforms, it's this easy. Just go copy the link. As long as you own that project and you contributed that project on any of the other platforms, you can go grab that link to your article or your project and you can paste it here. It'll fetch it and it'll build it. I can just kind of show you an example here. I'm going to go steal one of my own projects from Hackster. It's my own project. I'll go to, where's my profile? One of my projects right here. We'll grab this one. Actually, this is multiple authors. I'm actually not going to import it completely. I won't import it completely, but we'll go back to devEco.io. I'm going to go back to the home here real quick. 1 second. devEco.io. I'll go to projects. I'll go create new project. I'll just name it whatever. Not going to matter. Oops. Boom. Start writing. If I want to import this, I can literally paste that in, and there you go. It writes it all
That's
for
nice.
me. Yes, I am the original author. I'm not going to actually post this, but there you go. Look, you've successfully imported your project. So again, this is
like
your
that.
way to retain your retain your ownership while simultaneously putting it on a different platform where you can now actually go tag stuff. You can mess with your SEO preview. You can do all of this stuff. It gives you a checklist, and our editing system is beyond what I ever expected it to become. In terms of adding new blocks. It's just as simple as inserting an image, inserting a parts list, inserting downloadable stuff you want to put in here, file name. It's so streamlined. It's so, in my opinion, amazing. And I'm very excited to see what things the open source community starts requesting or contributing.
Yeah,
because it is open source. Yeah, let me actually go.
I like
show
that.
Yeah, right. What do you think? What do you guys think about it? Actually, I'm kind of interested to hear what Michael and Kevin, now that you've seen me explain it.
Yeah. So I've used it briefly when it first showed up, like immediately after you launched it. And I started a project, and I was like, oh, well, this is like pretty much like Hackster.io. It's got pretty much everything that they had there. And I was like, okay, I've put in requests at Hackster like, hey, can we have this feature? Can we have that feature? Now I have kind of a way to say, hey, even if nobody wants to work on it, I could actually go and code it myself and do a pull request and have the feature added if I were so inclined. This wasn't possible before, and I think that's a really cool thing. And
yeah, it's also,
I think it's going to make it grow.
It's also, people have been already going in and reporting, bugs.
Good.
Great way to go report bugs.
Milo,
Milo went in there and posted some bugs. We got those bugs fixed. But yeah, you can see here, devEco.io, all open. Literally, go there right now. You can go check it out, click through it, fork it, do whatever you want.
Do you have like a staged version of it that you guys do, like for like pre-release?
The staged version is on Common Pub. So Common Pub IO is our staged version. So you'll see features that are going to make its way into IO by going to Common Pub. Cool. For example, we're going to be adding a video feature. You'll literally be able to post little videos there as well. We're going to be adding an explainers thing. You can go build explainers out and download. We're going to build a docs area. I say we're going to build. It's built. We literally just have to go into the GitHub repo, and from there, it's literally a toggle on, toggle off for devEco.io. We're testing things out, making sure that it's all going right. But so in many cases, you might go submit a pull request, and then submit an issue or a feature request, and it might have already been built, and all we need to do is just test it a little bit further and bring it on board. So yeah,
very cool, very cool.
Yeah,
and it looks like Mohib's kind of the ringleader for the development.
Right now in its current stage, because technically this is not launched. All right. So we're out here, we're talking about it. It's technically not launched. The official launch date we're aiming for open source in this year in July. So July 17th, 18th, 19th at the open source event, we hope to have or plan to have a devEco booth there. There will be sponsored from devEco, the community with devEco.io. Their in center. Front and center. And the whole goal here is to start kind of like seeding this out to the community at that point. There's little things that need to be put into place first. And one of the most important things for me is finding the mechanisms for revenue to make its way into the people's hands and do this in an autonomous way, right? Or as autonomous as possible, as in the fewer bottlenecks, the fewer messengers, the fewer people in between this process, the less money is spent on just getting the money from A to B. If a creator is doing something cool, a company should be able to come in and give that creator money. If a developer is doing something cool and they deserve some sponsorship or endorsement, or they just need, like the companies need ways to give these people money. And so these are the kind of fine-tuned things we're trying to work out, and how these pass-throughs work and how much we can automate these processes without having to implement this whole 1099 process. So we're trying to figure out how that's going to work. For the meantime, one of the ways we're seeing this work is through the devECO consulting arm. So devECO Consulting is a branch that actually is a for-profit branch, and money can flow through devECO Consulting. And if we automate it as much as possible, then obviously taxes have to be paid, company taxes, but then the rest goes to the community. And we want to try to automate that as much as possible until we can figure out a way for it to just happen on platform. So that's kind of like what we're looking at least, full transparency.
Yeah, there's probably legal stuff that you have to deal with.
Yes.
So yeah.
There you go. Look at that. Private MTD. The fact that it's open source forever is very respectable. Yes, that's the whole point, right? And I make a joke, and people have told me don't make that joke publicly. But the moment a corporation buys a hub like this, they insert or install what I call the F community switch, or the I'm not listening switch. And this is kind of the thing, is they have their agendas, and it's okay. Great. You guys have your agenda. I love it. Make your money, do your thing, right? But don't do it at the cost of other people's time and investment into your platform. And this is what pisses me off, is like all of a sudden now this platform becomes dedicated to something else. They flip a switch and this content is no longer allowed, or they try funneling it towards a certain type of content that only fits their narrative. And who suffers? Well, the people who invested in that platform before that change was made. And that's where I think the big hits come from. And so as a community, if features are added, and then there needs to be this governance, which is devECO, the community, the dev core, the governance model that we've been adopting for our community, is most likely going to play a huge role in the governance of this platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned earlier that there was a Patreon that you guys started for funding the project. Is it something you could share? So the Patreon is not fully baked out. I don't want to like push anyone there per se, like as in like the benefits of the Patreon is like you get a special role in the devECO Discord server. I think that if you get one role we put out there, you get a mentorship hour with Michael Welling right here. I can actually, let me see. But we're going to be building this out a little bit more strategically. Okay. But I'm trying to find someone who will own this process. Where is it? Did we have one with you, Mike? The sponsor? I don't remember. I do remember. I actually sponsored.
Well, I went out, and there are a few people who have thrown money in here to help us build out. I mean, like on the yearly for the last many years, I've been paying myself for like all of our nitro boosts and to support several other communities that are in the ecosystem.
Yeah, we don't want to keep lumping that on you.
Yeah, well, so that's been one of the main things that this money has gone through as of now, because it's not that much. It's like $28 a month, but we've only talked to people personally, as in like that's all we're able to cover. We're able to cover the nitro boosts. Ideally, we'd like to be able to cover the StreamYard subscription so that we can open more seats for community members to come in here and actually leverage the StreamYard and build out their own little portfolio and stream portfolio. We'd like to start offering more of these things to our community members. And then most importantly is the maintainers of this repository. As more people start to flow in, we want to be able to like incentivize and actually drive more revenue towards the creators ourselves. So when you start posting projects on devECO.io, when people start posting projects on devECO.io, you can pretty much say like, oh, I supported that developer in some way, shape, or form by contributing to the Patreon, because money does in some way, at least a fraction of it, is going to make its way to developers and people on the devECO.io. So that Patreon is going to be one of the hubs where distribution across the ecosystem happens. None of this money here goes into any of my pockets, anyone else's pockets, right? This money goes directly. I mean, obviously there's fees from Patreon, and then there's possibly, I'm not sure how none of this money has been used other than the nitros yet. But if the money got big enough, I don't know. I'm hoping someone else is running it by that point. I don't even want to have that.
Quick injection there, just an idea that I had. I don't know if it's good or not, but if you've got a pretty good developer ecosystem like what you're building, you could have a like enterprise level tier on Patreon where they get access to office hours with some developers.
We do. It's there. I haven't launched it. So yeah, there's a partner, early adopter, partner tier. Yeah. So this has actually already started to come into play, right? So like through devEco Consulting, again, like our branch, in our contracts when we onboard a new client, I've literally just started putting this in. We put what I call the open source contribution recommendation. So depending on what type of company you are and what level or stage of funding you're at, or how big your company is, what your revenue streams look like, how much money you have, we will put a recommendation in there, $100 to $250 a month. And what this does is this, if they agree to this and during our scoping calls, then we tell them what we plan on as the agency, what we plan on using that money for. It is all pushed to devEco. Right. So we might say, hey, put $100 of this 250 onto the Patreon, right? And then put 150 of this or 100 of this towards as in we're going to put 250 onto the Patreon. And then of that 250, 100 is going to go towards the devOSH, 100 is going to go towards this, 50 is going to go towards this. Right. And so it's kind of like a mechanism for us to start, like having these companies understand the value of contributing to these open source communities, because it makes everyone's advocacy, I think, a little easier when the company shows up in that way.
You touched on this a little bit, and I might have missed it. You may have said this, but have y'all thought about, y'all may already be a 501(c)(3) for, as a company, dumping into a developer ecosystem might be more valuable to them, and they get a tax break off of that. Is that something that y'all have already talked about, Robert?
Yes, absolutely. So devEco, so I call it the devEco community engine. That's what it's called right now. Okay. It will eventually become the devEco Foundation. And the devEco Foundation is, yes, when it does form into this 503c or some form of nonprofit. The big problem with turning it into a nonprofit too early is that I need to make sure that all the assets are wrangled, everything is put into the right places, and then also make sure that the board is formed properly. So I'm actually consulting with some pretty esteemed people in the space that are running open source foundations. Nonprofit foundations, like Pete Bernard, for example. Pete Bernard runs one, in my opinion, a very big nonprofit organization called EdgeAI Foundation. And this is where I kind of am starting to learn as much as possible. And then consulting with folks like Michael Welling and Kevin and other people in the dev core to make sure that this board is formed properly. When you form a board, when I mean boards, I mean like a board of directors for this, for a nonprofit, you only get one chance. You only get one decision, meaning like me as the person who's kind of been wrangling all of this stuff together and building it out with all these folks for the last many years. We get to make one decision. And that decision is how the board is formed, how it is, how members are elected, and how many seats there are, and how decisions are made. Okay, basically, it's the operations agreement of this company, this nonprofit company. And so making this board is one of the scariest things for me, which is why I'm trying to check as many boxes as possible in terms of like what knowledge we have, so that knowledge can be all leveraged and then decisions can be made when that board is formed. You make that board the wrong way, and then next thing you know, like a company can buy it, and that's like not what can happen, right? And so we want to make sure like that the nonprofit can't be absorbed, the nonprofit can't be screwed over, the people in the nonprofit can feel safe, and it's always transparent, and that voting for this is absolutely voting for new members, and seats are assigned fairly. And so, yeah, that's kind of a big thing. All of these processes need to be put into place. And so it's not something I'm in a hurry to do. It's something that I'm in a hurry to do properly. Yeah.
I got you. So you didn't want to make a for-profit nonprofit like OpenAI?
No, no, this is not for profit in any way. So the way I like to see this is that, again, and I'll put this out there, I'm looking for a devEco director, someone who will be paid a salary, right? As in like, I need someone to actually run this whole thing. And I would gladly, with the dev core, work to get that person brought up. We want to create these revenue streams. The whole idea here is that, imagine this nonprofit was bringing in $1 million a year. Okay. Well, this nonprofit has to have people running this thing. And people may not get this about nonprofits, but there are aspects that people have to be paid to run the nonprofit. And so there are salaries in place. but let's just take a random number out of the thin air because it's round enough. $1 million a year was coming in through different revenue streams into this nonprofit, right? Well, let's say a director was paid a fair salary. That director needed some, social media person or a community manager. And then there was also maybe some other technical person building out, like tools and stuff for that, for the community. Well, now you have 3 salaries. All right. Well, let's just assume that those 3 salaries ate up $500,000 of those $1 million, 50%, right? You still have $500,000 left. The way that I see it is that this is all money that would go into hardware incentives like devOSH. This would be putting devEco at booths in the various events around the world that are happening every year. So devEco gets to actually be present at these places and showcase the developers who are building things within the community. And this is how I think this all builds, right? So we build this all out. We have to build out these infrastructure. We have to build out the revenue streams. We have to get the people who actually want to do this. And it's not about, you're not doing this because you want to get paid. I mean, you will get paid, but like there, as in like, if you came in and you want to say, I want to be a director for this community, I want to build this, and I want to fucking I want to do this. There's no, I guess this is not for kids. But yeah, we're gonna say bad words in this. But the whole idea here is that this person, the people who I'm looking for, or that we're looking for as a dev core, they should be passionate about wanting to do this, right? And they should be ready and willing to kind of like build their own salary, right? They're coming in here to show their value to the ecosystem. They're coming in here knowing that revenue streams have been established and that these revenue streams are growing and more will be established. But at the end of the day, the salary and everything, that's all something that will be decided by the board. And it's something that is being built up till now, right? So, yeah.
Cool.
I say that because I've really been trying to find someone. So I'm putting it out there, right? Like I am really trying to find someone. I've talked to, half a dozen people, like some of the people who I think would be really good at this. But if the right passionate person just pings me and says, hey, I really want to do this, it's like, okay, show me you want to do it. That's what's going to happen. I'm not going to say like, oh, you got the job. It's like, show me you want to do it. And then I'll show you all the things that we need done. And then I'll help you along the way. Dev core people will help you along the way, and we'll help get this whole thing spun up. Right. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's starting to grow and to the point where it's like bigger than like one person. Of course, it's been like building for a while. There's been a lot of like things happening and talk about making this new place for everybody.
It's open source. It's open source community. It's open source community edging.
Yeah. So I was wondering maybe like if we could maybe use devEco.io for like kind of a sharing point for the projects that we're going to use for devOSH. Like say we wanted to like, we have GitHub repository, which is kind of bland. I mean, instead we could create like a project here and then share like more detailed information and pictures, videos, other things like that. Is that okay?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So you can kind of see right here, like I think Mike, you went in here, you created the devOSH community. So under the community hubs, we have the community here. Yeah. The sub community. I mean, I look at devEco as the developer ecosystem, and then this is a community within the developer ecosystem. And so, right. and this is actually an initiative, right? So this is a devEco initiative. So it kind of goes a little bit further. Maybe that's something we want to think about. Like, what does the devEco initiatives? Where do the devEco initiatives sit? Possibly slightly aside from these communities. The whole point, though, is you can see the proof right here, or not proof, but it's just kind of like a sample case. Michael Welling created this Bevy badge last year for open source, and he posted the project up here, and then he hosted it underneath the devOSH community, right? And being completely open as it is, I want to say even more open than we have made it so far. Like there are no gates here. And I like calling them golden cages. There are no golden cages. You got the golden handcuffs that companies give you when you get your RSU package and sign on to a company contract or something. But the golden cages are the cages that are put around around you when you join a community that is not open, where they are trying to literally hold you hostage and not let you get access to the resources and tools you may need that are available in other communities that could somewhat be competitors to theirs, right? It's like, no, this is not a zero-sum game. You can go and access and be a part of other communities and build your knowledge and your network and share your knowledge with your network. And this is a place where you are more than willing, or we are more than willing and want that to happen. Like, we want you to share your links and put people in places that they've never seen before. If it has value, we want that value to be exposed, and we don't care. We don't care. There's no golden cage here. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I might kind of build that into kind of the flow. And it's not, I won't make it a strict requirement, but having people make a page for their project would probably be good and might help them structure their project a little more.
Yeah. If the structure does follow, that's another thing, Mike. So check this out. So another thing is that you can import markdowns. So if you actually built a markdown template, when you go to this project area here, and again, I'm just going to build a little tester, you can import the markdown.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you built your template following kind of, this is all markdown in a way. So if you built your template to follow this markdown, to follow the kind of like a way that you want devOSH projects under this initiative to be surfaced, or if you want to provide your devOSH community members with some form of like kind of a leg up in contribution. Yeah. So now you're providing them with that leg up, and you can say like, hey, devOSH community, like if you're building a hardware project, this is a great template to use. They just fill out that template in markdown, come over here, boom. Either they can upload the file or they can paste the markdown directly, and it can live in both places. They can even include a link out to the GitHub repository, which would be great because then you get more contributions to it.
That's cool. Yeah. I think I need to poke at it a little more. It looks like it's changed a little since the last time I added the project.
Yeah. I mean, one guy I want to point out here, he's sitting right here next to me. You can go there now, and he has been posting some of the coolest projects. You got a toilet flusher that he built. Yeah. I don't know if you're in devEco, you will have seen the videos. Look at this thing. It pushes the toilet down. Jeremy Bobbin, by the way. He's been leveraging a bunch of the hardware that I have here in the garage. Built some really cool stuff. He built over here. This was actually one that he did recently. This is a Jeremy, you want to explain it?
It's
can you hear him?
Yes.
Yeah.
An Arduino Mega, and under that is a gyroscope, and so as the gyroscope twists and turns, it renders the donut on the screen in accordance with that orientation. So it's like you're holding the donut.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the donut moves. The donut moves. So like there's a video in the devEco under the embedded channel. So if you go to the embedded, maybe I could just do this real quick. Might as well just show the videos. Yeah, you can't upload videos to this right yet on blogs.
Not quite yet.
Okay, we'll make sure that gets added. That's something important, I think. But yeah, if we go to like the right here, embedded channel. So here's a toilet flusher. Right.
It's IoT, Internet of Toilets.
Yeah.
Whoosh. Yeah, I saw this one.
This is the donut one. Oh, can I make it bigger? Let me see. I don't know if that made it bigger for you, but here, let's play it again.
Not much.
So you see how the donut's turning there?
Yeah. So it's tracking the gyro movement.
This is a sound one, I think. Oh no, it's not. No, this is a. So as he moves the gyro there, it blinks. This is a sound one.
Yes, like a theremin.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the sound there.
Yeah. It's a beeper.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff going on in the community though. Oh, Jeremy's got more stuff he's sharing here. Oh, this is the newest one. Yeah. What do they call the people who dance around with the batons?
Jeremy.
The fire.
I don't know how to spell batons. They're called. Oh, I don't know. Buttons? Buttons?
Not buttons.
Okay, never mind. But people be dancing with buttons, I guess. If Google thought it.
All right.
Yes, but yeah, the official launch of this platform is going to be in July. Until then, we are kind of just doing soft launch, early access testing, but we welcome anyone to come sign up. We ask that you don't go out and just publicly blast this thing out there. We don't want that just yet.
I need to
share
talk
it
to
on my local server. Is that okay?
Oh yeah. You could as in what I mean by that is just like not going like public on like LinkedIn or going public on
okay.
anywhere. I don't get me wrong. Like if it happened, it's okay. It's just like we're not going to accompany that announcement with you, you know?
Okay.
I understand an alpha more than most people there, Robert. I get it. I get it.
It's not closed. It's
Yeah.
an alpha release. So
yeah, if you got bugs, well, that's part of the process. I need to talk to Mohib. I definitely recommended Markdown, and he implemented it like the next night.
Yeah.
While it was down there.
You were the one. You were the one who asked for it, right? Yeah.
I asked for it because most of our files on our side are rendered Markdown. That's what we usually build everything out of. So I need to talk to him about the structure that he's got set up right now, so we can. Because what I want to do is I want to API that back to Protoboard. So when we share a project, when we build a project, it goes over to the devEco IO as well.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yes. That would be most likely leveraging the Fediverse and the Common Pub APIs. So yeah, 100%. I can point you to documentation, but I can also bring that up to Mohib and we can get something going between you guys.
Mohib, we've talked to Mohib about it before. He knows about it. I think there's some stuff on our side we have to get ready first before we're at a point where we can build that out completely, that smooth integration. So we haven't quite executed on that half of it yet.
Let me know because when there are situations like this, again, like in the whole kind of, we want to try building depth on this type of thing. So I'd like to include more dev core members in the conversation so they can kind of see how these things flow, to get more people involved. When feature requests like this are happening, because I think just more heads, more listeners, more people interested will be good. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of this video here, or this session, I just want a exposed API endpoint that we can talk to, that we know the configuration of, so we can match that on our side, so they're both uniform. So when we post something, it's not a completely different format to what devEco.io has. Like you said, you're still working on adding the video format. We have videos that we have in our format, so having that layer, those endpoints exposed would just be helpful for us to see exactly how we need to structure on our side. So don't worry about that. But yeah, it might be
that Delta Robotics and Protoboard, you guys might be ready to just launch your own federated version, your own federated hub, right? And that's the beauty of it, right? devEco.io is federated, right? So it's the flagship of our open source backend. And this is, again, like, it goes back to the whole concept is like we couldn't figure out a way to tell someone that this can't be sold. Like we had to prove it. And the only way to prove it was to literally build the platform in a fully and unowned open source licensed way. And so devEco.io is built upon a federated open source and properly licensed backend it's built upon I'm gonna call it a downstream. The upstream is Common Pub, and the downstream is devEco.io, which is our flagship. And so this is where, like, it kind of like, I think it's beautiful, and it was our only way to truly solve that problem. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we got one more minute, guys. I want to make sure we try to keep this at an hour if possible, out of respect for people's time, and we can kind of start keeping this standard going.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't think we have time for the maker chip thing unless it's like.
Oh no, let's do the maker
quick.
chip. Let's do the maker chip thing. I think that's a good idea. I mean, like, but everyone, just so you know, you can. I like to at least tell people, like, feel free to bounce. Like, try to keep this at an hour, right, Mike?
I usually do. It's not a strict hour. I could like go on, but it's just I think an hour is a good amount of time. Otherwise, people will trail in and out of the kind of the conversation, and they won't. They'll have to go back and reference it, or whatever. Yeah. So I think an hour is a good amount of time. I think when you were saying, like, when I first started doing the streaming, a lot of people do like 3 hours, and
Oh, that's
3 hours is a
that's like a Twitch
lot.
standard. No, so Twitch standard,
Okay.
Twitch standard is like if you want to get big on Twitch, you reserve that. It's roughly 7 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern time slot on Fridays and Saturdays. Those are your two big 3-hour time slots. And if you're consistent on those 2 hours on those 2 days across the board for 3 hours, but no, for like what I think this is turning into, Mike, I think an hour is perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, an hour a week is probably more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3
okay.
hours a month would be okay, but 3 hours every week would be probably pushing it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let's let Kevin do his update on the maker chip, and then and I'll pull my maker chip out here and play with it while he's doing it because I got.
Oh, you got one? Did you make one?
He brought one. He brought one for me.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice!
Yeah.
Oh
Look at
yeah.
Look at this.
Nice.
Look at this. I push right here. It comes up.
Yep. Oh yeah, I saw the video. I watched the whole process unfold.
You missed.
I was here the whole time.
Yeah. It's not a major update. So based on the conversation that Robert and I had the other night, I think that the first generation of the maker chip is ready to go. I think what's left is to just document the process. And so my screen can actually show it here. But I've got 2 different versions here, and I've just kind of been experimenting what is the easiest way to actually build one of these yourself to make it an open source, easily accessible system. Mm-hmm. And I think there's levels of complexity and quality that you can go up. And I want to document each of those so people understand exactly how they can go and keep making theirs better. For example, this version here is just a 3D printed plastic piece. And I added in my...
wait up. Is it me or did he? Oh, no, he's back. He's back.
Yeah. Sorry, I froze a little bit. This is just a 3D printed brick here, essentially. And what I did was on the 3D printer, I added a simple pause to the print where it stopped the printer about halfway through. I added an RFID tag, and then I hit resume on the printer, and it filled in the rest. And visually, you cannot tell. I'm throwing chips here. You cannot tell that there was anything placed on the inside of it. And that's the goal. You can add RFID tags for really easy added benefit of being able to scan in things, having some hidden content in there, a key or anything like that.
Did you place magnets in that one too?
Not in this one. Okay. I didn't have enough time or enough magnets to put them in this one. But the one that Robert has is also an RFID tag.
Yeah.
So, exact same process, except the inside core of the 3D printed shell has slots open for the magnet. So the cool thing about 3D printers, most 3D printers now have a magnetic build plate. And if you add a magnet, it will snap to the build plate. And so you can hit resume print and it'll encase the magnet completely. If you add 2 pauses, you can do a magnet and an RFID tag and have the best of both worlds. And so it's the exact same thing for the back plate as well. Now, we did talk to Robert, and we do have a way to manufacture and machine high quality back plates for badges out of different material. The same process. We would just have to manually assemble the magnets from the back into those plates. But whichever way we end up going, the design seems to be pretty stable, at least.
I want to add to this, and this is not. Don't take these designs for these are just like mock-ups, right? But so for example, the reason this is important for the open hardware initiative, in my opinion, devOSH, is that you can kind of see, let's imagine this is just the simplest form. No electronics involved. You're 3D printing something, you're putting a little magnet here, and then you're making sure that magnet can attach to a surface so you can collect these things, or you can put them somewhere, or you can put them in a little, foldable metal case or whatever it is, all these different types of accessories you can think of. The next stage would be making sure that magnet is very, very, attached. You want to put it on something that you're going to go do activities on, or something that you swing around. Like, for example, my hat clip design that I want. that I'm hoping gets made. The last version, this is the most important version, is what I call, or at least like the name I've been using is I call the augment. Okay. So this is the augment phase. This is the augment standard or phase. These are little pogo plates. Okay. So now on your baseboard, what you would be able, it's the same. And to be honest, actually, I actually am missing one here because we would be talking like the same. It'd almost be like using the same kind of idea as like the SAO. Okay. So SAO have six, I believe SAO has six pins, right?
Yeah.
So we would be leveraging the SAO kind of almost standard in a way, but we would be implementing it, the SAO standard, but implemented in a augment form. And imagine like, you know, you have these all sorts of types of accessories like that. The accessory is what's powered. The chip is what you're powering. And so you could have a hat clip with an augment that senses something special, something in particular that has some communication layer that communicates to other augments. All right. You can have a little necklace or a magnet that you put on the inside of your shirt that then is powered from the inside of your shirt with something, right? And then you pop it on there. You can have a badge like that hangs on a lanyard, and this badge could be powered that you pop 4 or 5 of these different augments on, and then it senses things or does things for you that then communicates to themselves or communicates to a cell phone app. And this is the future that I'm envisioning for this whole process. And in order to get to this stage, of course, what Kevin is doing and what his team and what all the contributors are doing in this particular project is they're kind of identifying the layers, because people might want to test at an earlier layer and see like, hey, do I even want to do this? Or they might just want to make something that's to the standard that's not smart. It's okay. You want to just make a little.
Well, that was the first part. There were steps.
Yes.
We staged it that way so that
Yes.
you had magnetic, then you had electromagnetic, and then hovering, I think, is the last stage.
Oh, hovering. Oh, so that's going to be the last stage over here. Hovering.
I mean, technically that could work. You could get you can buy those little hovering magnets off of Amazon and embed that plate inside of a 3D print like this, and it would be a hovering chip. You could 100%.
We're doing it. But then we'd have to wirelessly power it, though, I think, because we don't have any contact.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'd have to do some digging what the resonant frequency of the magnet is switching on and off. I'm curious if we could piggyback off of that and somehow power some...
Harvest the power from it.
Yeah. But I don't know. See, here's the tricky part is the plate is designed to absorb all of that fluctuation, and if we put any electronics behind it, it kind of dilutes it by a lot. So I don't know. There's some research needed, but 100% that would be sick. 100%
it would be cool.
Awesome.
Everybody would be like, "Whoa!" Yeah, the thing is, it can't be on your shirt though. It'd have to be like something you set down on the table.
Well, I mean,
it could be on my hat clip. It could be on my hat clip.
That's true,
dude.
That would be
my gosh,
cool. A hat clip with a hovering maker chip on there.
I would say that
make it spin.
You got a heavy freaking hat right there. Those are some pretty beefy coils. Those hover things. I'm not saying it's impossible, but holy smokes, you would need some straps.
Kevin, we're not problem people. We're solution people, Kevin.
Hey, all right. Sorry to be realistic here, but
realistic here. No realistic here.
I think, in my opinion, the coolest experience a user could ever have is they come to OpenSauce and there's this, high-tech looking device, and they place their chip and it snaps into place and hovers. But there's an RFID or some sort of protocol that wirelessly transmit a key card that gets them into a secret door. That would be a cool freaking experience right there.
Like a tag that unlocks the door to like advanced features of the conference.
Yeah, like your creators club. Your VIPs at OpenSauce, they get a special key, and it's like, hey, you have to insert this. It magnetically snaps, scans, and opens a door. That would just be a really cool experience.
Yeah, I think it would be fun.
I'm already experiencing it in my head. I love it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, cool. So let's is there anything else that I'm good? Mike, I don't know if you want to close this out, or Kevin, if there's anything else you wanted to add. Mike, if you want to.
I got one thing. I got one thing, a little plug, just for because I have to. If our proto board is in open alpha, and everybody here is looking to build hardware projects, I encourage everyone to go check it out. Go check out proto board and see if they can't, brainstorm inside of proto board before they build some hardware projects to help them really think through before purchasing any components. It's 100% free. All you have to do is sign up, and it's an alpha like devOSH.io. So there's going to be bugs, and we want to try to get as much feedback as possible to get, to make that platform better. So that's my shameless plug. That's it. That's all I got.
Go out there and break it.
Do it. We dare you.
Yeah, actually, hack it, take it over, and then
make a copy of it and sell it
back. Then sell it back to them.
Lock us out. I wouldn't be surprised. You could probably do that.
Just ask Claude. Just say, "Hey, Claude, hack this site real quick for me."
Claude could do it.
Yeah. Well, as far as the maker tip goes, I think I want to touch base with Michael. I want to touch base with you and kind of formalize where we want to put all this stuff and how we want to display all of this and start documenting it. Yeah, because this part's pretty much done. I've got a bunch of different layers on top of this first generation, and I do have a prototype that I'm working on a PCB version of it. It's not done yet, but I can even start talking about some of those layers as well. So I've got enough information to start putting it together.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah. I think, just posting it on GitHub for now, and maybe on devOSH.io is a good idea. And then just giving people the kind of the too long didn't read or instructions on how to go from what you have to their version of the thing, how to bring in their image or whatever they want to put on there, how to customize it would be kind of the big deal. If it's not customizable, it's kind of it's defeats the purpose a little bit. So we have to kind of show people how to do things and make it to the point where it doesn't require a whole lot of technical expertise out to do it, because some makers are going to be super technical. They could just be,
I also know, like I have access to the makerspace, which has a lot of amazing tools like laser engravers, inkjet UV printers, 3D printers, CNC machines, like all of these tools that I have access to that a typical maker might not be available to. I'd like to document those processes so they understand how it's done. But also I do want to, in the documentation, very explicitly say, hey, if you have any very specific questions that you don't understand or you would like some guidance on, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, how to make it custom, jump in the devOSH community, jump into Discord and start asking those questions, and we can start answering some of those, because I know that there's an infinite number of ways to build this thing, and we'll do our best to say the things that we've tried, and hopefully people can extrapolate enough information from there.
I think a lot of people could just take it and go, but then other people that are maybe newer to it and they're just trying to kind of test the waters, you might want to give them a little more hand-holding tutorial type situation. But and direct feedback loop is always awesome.
Last thing, Michael, would you be willing? I've got a very fluctuating and packed schedule. Would you be willing to work out some times during the week to meet and make sure that because we're getting close to open source here. I want to make sure that this gets done. And I would like to just have a consistent time a week to make sure we knock out some of the big questions or some of the big tasks. Maybe it's a work session where we just work on some of the stuff. Whatever that is, I would like to schedule that out.
So this is kind of supposed to be that, Kevin.
But
I would say that if possible, at least for my schedule, I don't know about Michael's, but like if we kept it maybe like before this or after this, right? So it's kind of like blocked in, and this becomes like, hey, this is the devOSH initiative time. Let's all hang out and discuss off the record for an hour, and then let's go on the record for an hour, and then we have fresh ideas and things that we're going to discuss.
Can we do that?
I think
that's perfect. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because
it might be better for me after because of work, but we'll see.
For me, it's I see this current devOSH or this conversation here as prep time. Like I had to prep some information, get all my materials so that we actually have something to talk about in the meeting. Whereas a work session, it's just literally hopping in there, not saying a word for every 15 minutes. Yeah. And just answering questions as they pop in. That's fine too. Just as long as we architect that.
Yeah. I think having like a working session instead of just a status meeting. This is a status meeting, and the next thing will be a working meeting. Where
an entertaining status meeting.
Of course. Yeah. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't entertaining.
Are we good then?
So, I think we can call it for this week, and then jump back on next week. And do you guys cool doing the extra session after this call next week? Is that too late?
Let me check.
Probably,
no. Let me check. I'm gonna double check before I commit
to
that.
The fade out music is starting, guys.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we need a theme. We need a theme song and a logo for our thing. I do a little guitar.
Sensor coverage. I think I'm good. Go ahead. Yeah. After next week, after this, I can definitely do it.
Okay. We'll just make it like 1 hour for the regular show, and then the after hours will be our time to collaborate more.
That works.
Deeply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. So one big round of applause for Kevin. Round of applause for Michael. Drum roll and bongos for me.
No. It's not working.
That was pretty cringy.
All right. We're all good then. Let's go. Let's close this out. Fade out music is going. Everyone, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.